on the website it says that you can, instead of doing the 220 grit sandpaper, you can just rub it with this MCT 101 thinner. And it's, if you're looking for it on the website, it is under the information for the thinner, not for the master coat. So me being lazy and me having a supply of this, I'm going to take that approach and just wipe down the bottom of that for now and finish up my couple coats of the master coat on the rest of the frame. And then tomorrow, probably when I get to the point where I'm going to do the black top coat, I will rub everything down with the thinner and put the top coat on. The other thing that happened last time is I ran out of this internal frame coating. I'm going to try to get a shot inside that frame. I don't know if I can. The old stuff was green. I don't think I got a very good shot of it, but the old stuff was green. And now, if you notice, this comes in black. So I'm going to use the black, and I am going to put this all over the frame, or not all over the inside of the frame. And there's a couple nooks and crannies that maybe up in this area of the frame was really hard to get into behind those. I think I did a pretty good job, but since the ultimate frame is going to be black coated, I think what I'll do is I'll stick some of this in there, and it looks like maybe I didn't quite get it in there good enough. But maybe as I go in through this hole here, I can get it into that part there. There's a couple other spots, maybe inside these. They were difficult to get a brush into, and I wasn't wanting to spray the master coat. So I'm going to try to get this into those kind of places as well. And since I am actually painting the frame black, if a little bit of this strips out, no big deal. So that's what I'm going to do for today. Finish that up, and almost forgot my trailer load of other things. I managed, before I ran out of paint, I got the two trailing arms coated with one coat on each side, so I'll have to be wiping those down before I put the second coat of this on, or the master coat. And then hopefully I will have enough now that I bought another quart to finish all this other stuff that's in the trailer. If not, then I'll be ordering another can and waiting another several days to get it. And hopefully I will have enough decent weather for it to be able to finish it. You can use the silver master coat down to 35 degrees, and you can use the black top coat down to 45 degrees, which probably 45 degree weather is my cutoff then, because I won't be able to finish up the top coat unless I have at least 45 degree weather. But that's the update for now. I'm going to try to get all that done, and as I said before I get my hands and gloves covered with paint that won't come off the camera, I'm done recording for the day, and I'll just give you an update whenever I've finished, probably at the beginning of the next time I come down to do this, which I'm planning on that being tomorrow. Well, I've got the first coat of paint on both sides of all these parts. Just noticed as I was checking it out, I missed a spot there. And there on the same place on the other side. Can't really see this one as well. But I will hit those first when I come down tomorrow and get the second coat on all these pieces. Now, some of them will be painted black, and some I'm going to leave this color. Now the ones that are this color need 3 coats according to the manufacturer of Master Coat. But everything on the frame is done. I have the 2 straps for the gas tank hanging on the end there. So that's a wrap for today, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. This, my friends, is why you always wear eye protection when you're working in the shop. I was coating the inside of the frame, and it has that long tube that I showed in a previous video, or maybe previously in this video, that you insert into the frame to spray the coating in. And they ship it coiled up in a circle, so it wants to stay that way. And it popped out of the hole in the frame and splashed me, and as you can see, I would have had a bunch of that stuff in my eye probably. So that saved me from plenty of discomfort. So stay safe. So yesterday I finally put the top coat on the frame and all the parts I wanted painted black, at least most of them. I might have missed 1 or 2 because there's parts laying all over the place. But the trailing arm, there's the front, that's the air tank for the headlights, the vacuum tank. And trailing arms are there. Basically, I coated all of the ones. And the stuff I used was the black coat from Master Coat, the top coat. And let me get it out of the trash here. It's AG111. And the issue with this is it's a 2-part thing, and once you mix it, it's good stuff, but once you mix it, it starts to cure. And there's the other part of it. So it says that the pot life is 6 hours. But I find that after about 4 hours, it was getting pretty thick and hard to spread. So I thought that I could use up a quart of paint in 6 hours, and that's about right. But the final 2 hours was more work than it had to be. If I had it to do over again, I think I'd just mix it 2 to 1 like they say. Which presents problems in and of itself, but I would do that. Then all of these things, gas tank, the gas tank cover, dust covers from the brakes. Let me do them on the other side, out of the sun. All that I decided I wanted to leave silver, except for the trailing arms, not trailing arms, the half shafts. What I did with those is I painted that center section, which I now have taped off and covered with paper black with the urethane stuff. And now I'm using industrial grade spray Rust-Oleum to do the silver on all these parts that I'm going to leave silver. the master coat says do 3 coats total. It can be 3 coats of the master coat if you're okay with this color, because I painted the top of this and not the bottom silver with the Rust-Oleum. So I decided to go with a little better looking silver than that is. That's more of a gray. So I've got all these parts coated with the first coat on the top side of them. I'm going to do another quick coat to make sure I didn't miss any spots, because I tend to do that when I spray. And then I'll let that dry for an hour, flip them over, and do the back side. But in the meantime, while I was waiting, I decided, well, I can, instead of wasting time, and I didn't have the camera here and truthfully never thought of it, but let me shut that fan off. It's in the way of the light, and it makes it kind of dim up and that. So anyways, I got this almost together, and I was like, dang, I should have recorded it, because there's at least one thing that's kind of important. And you notice here, I forgot to paint the back side of this yesterday, but it's got 2 coats of rust protection, and it's really up out of the way. So I don't think that's going to be a problem, but I may decide to come back and hit that with some black Rust-Oleum spray. Notice I missed a little spot there. But this is 4 pieces, and I decided while I'm doing the waiting for the paint to dry, I can put some of these sub-assemblies back together, and that way I only have to make room for 1 part instead of 4, because it's all put together. There is an order you have to go about this in, and the parts are this main metal part. You've got this bracket here. Why they didn't make that 1 piece, maybe it was a metal forming issue, but I don't know. And then you got the crash bumper, a rubberized thing, and this is a separate piece, the nose piece, which is attached to a, see if I can put this up, a pretty hefty metal piece, and the bumper guards that are actually behind the bumper cover. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get this bracket in, because what you can't see here is this is really a U-shaped bracket. It comes to here, goes up, and fits behind this. So you have to put that in first, and it's got carriage bolts that go in from the back side to hold that on. So you got to do that first. Then the rubber piece goes in. It went in very easily. There's just 4 little screws through there that hold that in place. And then there's this front piece. Let me shut off the camera for a second and see if I can tip it up to show you. Well, let me show you how it's connected first before I show you the front piece. There are 3 studs that are embedded in the front piece. And these are 2 long bolts that go through and go into a captured nut on the back of that front piece. So that's the front of it. This, like I said, right here is the front piece that goes through and is held on with 5 bolts. It goes through this, through that. Actually, these are not too long. They're probably 2.5 inches, maybe 3, sticking through the back here. The studs that go into this U-shaped bracket, and then the 2 bolts are probably about 6 inches that go in from the back. And interestingly enough, the 3 studs are 9/16 nuts, and then the 2 long bolts, I guess maybe they had to make it so that it would have more strength since it's a 6-inch bolt. But those are 5/8 heads on those. I don't know what the actual diameter of the bolt is, but whatever standard for a 5/8 inch head is what it is. So now I've got 4 pieces that are put together, and that's the first thing I've reassembled on this car. So we're going in the right direction now.